Hey guys, right here, welcome to the channel. Today we are reviewing this 48-volt lithium iron phosphate battery as a power option when the power goes out. We are going to be hooking this up to my all-in-one power system, and we're going to connect it to my house furnace in the winter here in Utah to see how long it will run. We're going to try it without solar to see how long it'll run, and then we're going to connect solar into it and see how it does with solar as well. So this could be a very good, affordable, long-term power option for your house. So let's check it out. If you want to have some fun, come along. So this is a 12-volt LFP or lithium iron phosphate battery, and it has about twice the capacity as your typical heavy 12-volt car battery. Now for more serious home backup, we're going to be looking at a 48-volt lithium iron phosphate battery. So this has about 4 times the capacity as this battery. Okay, so the nice thing about LFP batteries is they are very budget friendly. This is a server rack model battery that you can keep in a server rack. You can put it in your garage, home, or your cabin. And they last a very long time. A typical LFP battery can be discharged from 100% to 0% every day for 10 years. And then they say you'll have 80% of your battery life that you can still use. But it's hard to know how long they'll really last because they're so new. But I do know one other YouTuber who has used these batteries in his home every day for 2 years. After 2 years, he logged into his battery to check the state of health, and it was still at 100%. This battery from Ruixu comes with a 10-year warranty and is UL 1973 certified. So the reason I'm going to be reviewing this Ruixu today is because I'm looking for a battery bank for my home garage, and I'm leaning towards this battery. So this has very good initial online reviews. It's solid. This battery has right at around 5 kilowatt hours of storage capacity, and it's very well priced. So if you're looking at a battery for a typical power station that will back up your home, the Blue Eddy has a battery about this same capacity, and it's listed for $4,000. EcoFlow Home Backup has a battery which is slightly larger than this one at 6 kilowatt hours. And that one's currently priced at $2,800 on sale. So the current 2024 price for this Ruixu battery is $1,339 on their website. However, I did find it on Current Connected right now for $1,199. I'll put links in the description to the various battery manufacturers below with any discount codes I have, so feel free to look around and see who currently has the best price if you're thinking about getting one of these batteries. Ruixu told me that they currently have this battery in Canada, Germany, Australia, and the US stocked in their warehouses. Please let me know in the comments if you know any good sales on these batteries or any other suppliers, and I'll add that to the distributor list in the description of this video. Here's how the battery compares to some other server rack batteries I have hanging around. I like the smaller profile on top. I could fit 5 of these under a standard 36-inch cabinet. Maybe 5 here, 5 over here, and build a workbench. Or if I ordered the 6-cabinet server rack, I could put that under here as well. Then my workbench would be around 40 inches, which still might work. Okay, let's go ahead and start the test. I'll show you what we have for the test. Okay, this is the Growatt 3000 ES model. This is our inverter, our solar charger, and our AC charger. So this battery came with these battery cables. I ordered the long versions of these, so I can always shorten them up later. So I really like these battery terminals. They aren't exposed, so you don't have to worry about getting shocked if you touch them. You can't touch the terminals at all. And this just clips on. If you want to remove it, you just push this little button. Okay, so this does have a couple lights that show the state of charge, but there's not a lot of other information that you can see from this here. So this does have a screen. It can show all the information about the battery, how much power is going in and out of the battery. And all I have to do is use this communication cable, supposedly. And then this will send, the battery management system will send all the information over to this Growatt, and I can see all the details on the screen. But I just need to set the protocol for this battery and the Growatt. So here's the Ruixu manual, and I was just looking through the manual, and it says this battery can communicate with Victron, Growatt, Snyder. So for Growatt, the protocol ID is 2. The 6th pin, I flip this up. So in theory, that should work. So I just realized the battery is configured to talk to the Growatt, but the Growatt is not configured to talk to the battery right now. So I heard that these Ruixu batteries use the same protocol as the EG4 batteries that I was showing earlier. So I'm just going to set that protocol here. I'll show you how I do it in the Growatt. So to set the protocol, hold that button down. This will get to the menu. Go to menu 5. This is where the battery protocol is set. Right now it's set to use just a user-defined battery, I believe that's what that is. But I need to change that to, so I'm using lithium. So I set that, and then this comes up, and then I set this to 001, and that's the protocol for this battery, I believe, as well as the EG4 batteries. So there we go. So give me a second, I'm gonna have to look into this. Okay, so I got it working. It actually wasn't too bad. The battery's reading 47% charge. So what I ended up doing is I looked at the Growatt manual, and menu 36 shows all the different protocols you can use. So L001 is for EG4 batteries. So I just tried every single one. And then L52 ended up working. And so I have closed loop communication now. It uses this communication cable, and the computer inside the battery tells the charger, for instance, what it prefers for charging voltage, for float voltage. I don't have to set any of that, it just works. Speaking of charging, let's get this up to 100% so we can run our test tomorrow morning. So it's dark, so the sun's not out, so I'm gonna have to charge this battery with AC power. So here's where my AC input is. I'm gonna use this little pigtail plug to charge from the AC outlet. So you notice I have a ground, live, and neutral. So I'm just gonna use those conductors, plug those right in. Okay, so it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna turn this on. Let's go and run the extension cords over to the furnace. Got 120 volts. Looks like the battery's 98%. So I wired in this plug to the AC output of the Growatt. This will be powering my furnace. I created this cord, these two pigtails using RV plug, just cut it in half. And I'll put a link to that on Amazon, really easy to create. So let's run this down to my furnace. Okay, I'm downstairs, gonna unplug the furnace. Right now this cord goes right into the furnace. I can choose to plug this into grid. This just goes back to the grid. Or I can plug it into my generator. All right, let's plug it in. There it goes. So this is a 2-bedroom apartment down here that's going to be heating, and then it also heat goes upstairs, so it heats part of the upstairs as well, which is 4 bedrooms. This is nothing fancy, really typical generator. There it goes, yay! Woohoo! Let's go upstairs and see how much power it's using. All right, 360 watts when it's running. My other furnace in my house upstairs uses 500 to 600 watts. So this is a little bit of a smaller furnace, but it does run more often because it's really the furnace that heats the entire house, because a lot of the heat comes upstairs. Okay, we'll check back tomorrow about this same time, see what it's at. Let's look at how much power we got. It's like 49%. So we had our upstairs furnace off this whole time. So essentially this was running the entire house, about 6 bedrooms. We started out at 97%. So it looks like this setup here will run my furnace for just over 2 days. So it's running about 1,000 watts on average. So you got to remember, part of the power is coming from just running the inverter, having this on all the time. But let's go ahead and hook some solar panels up. So I've wired up these MC4 connectors. I've got these used solar panels I got from Santan Solar. These are 240 watts a piece. I have these all wired in series, positive to negative, positive to negative. You can pick these up for between $34 to like $60, depending on the condition. These ones have some cracks on the back, so these ones were 34 bucks. Got my main positive, my main negative. Not much sun out right now. Looks like we've only got 114 watts coming in. Let's see how this does in 24 hours. Not looking good here. Okay, it's 4 o'clock the next day. You can see it's really dark out here. It's been like this all day long. Let's go see what the battery's at. Not much, no sun today at all actually. Okay, it looks like the battery's at 19%. Currently getting 100 watts of solar coming in. I think the highest I saw today about noon was 200 watts, but it was raining most of the day today, full cloud cover. So in conclusion, it looks like it can run 2 days without solar connected. And then if I have solar connected and the sun's out, I know this will get topped off right away. But if I have 4 days with a storm, I don't think it'll run longer than that with my 6 solar panels connected. In that scenario, my options are I can get a gas generator, and that should run me just fine as long as I've got gas and as long as the generator starts. Or another option, I think if I get another 6 solar panels out there for 500 bucks, that should run me through any storms I have. So $500 on a generator or $500 on more solar panels. Which option would you guys choose? But at the end of this video, I'm going to put a link to a similar test where I ran my house fridge. There are a lot of settings with this Growatt. I'm making another video right now where I'm going through explaining each specific Growatt setting. But if you're interested in getting this Growatt or this battery, I do have links in the description. If you use those links, it will help the channel out. I get a little bit of a cut there, so thank you for that. I've got a bunch of dirt cheap solar panels here. I'm going to put them on my house this summer, and hopefully I can get my electric bill to 0. So if you want to watch that, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.